Hello, my name is Mr. Osborne, and today I'm going to be reading you a short extract from the science fiction novel The Iron Man. This was written in 1968, so it's over 50 years old, and it was written by an author called Ted Hughes. He grew up and was born in a town in West Yorkshire, which is where I currently live, in Mytholmroyd, and it is a science fiction novel. The fiction part is important. That means it is not set in the real world, but it is a product of the author's imagination. All right, so if we make a start, we'll have a look at the first page. You might be able to see that the illustration they've got here is of the silhouette of the Iron Man towering above us on a cliff edge. The title of the first chapter is called The Coming of the Iron Man. So, the Iron Man came to the top of the cliff. How far had he walked? Nobody knows. Where had he come from? Nobody knows. How was he made? Nobody knows. Taller than a house, the Iron Man stood at the top of a cliff, on the very brink in the darkness. The wind sang through his iron fingers. His great iron head, shaped like a dustbin, but as big as a bedroom, slowly turned to the right, slowly turned to the left. His iron ears turned this way, that way. He was hearing the sea. You may have noticed that Ted Hughes has repeated the word nobody knows, or the phrase, nobody knows, several times. That's called repetition, and it's really important to underscore that meaning, that sense of mystery that he's creating, which goes really well with the illustration that the artist has used of a silhouette. At the minute, as readers, we want to know a lot more about who this Iron Man is, because he's coming across as very interesting and very mysterious. So the next page, if you have a look, there's two big pictures or illustrations of a lighthouse and a ship, the silhouette of a boat or a ship here. These circles here, to me, make it look like this might be what the Iron Man is seeing from his eyes as he's standing at the top of the cliff edge. So let's have a see. His eyes, like headlamps, glowed white, then red, then infrared, searching the sea. Never before had the Iron Man seen the sea. He swayed in the strong wind that pressed against his back. He swayed forward on the brink of the high cliff, and his right foot, his enormous iron right foot, lifted up out into space, and the Iron Man stepped forward off the cliff into nothingness. Crash! Down the cliff the Iron Man came toppling, head over heels. Crash, 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 from rock to rock, snag to snag, tumbling slowly. And as he crashed and crashed and crashed, his iron legs fell off. His iron arms broke off, and the hands broke off the arms. His great iron ears fell off, and his eyes fell out. His great iron head fell off. All the separate pieces tumbled, scattered, crashing, bumping, clanging down onto the rocky beach below. A few rocks tumbled with him, then silence. The most important words that, again, Ted Hughes has chosen to repeat several times is the word crash. We know it's important because he's repeated it, but you may also know that this is an example of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the name that we give for words that describe sound. So boing, ping, and as used here, crash. It's also emphasized by the use of, if you look closely, exclamation marks, which make us, as readers, they tell us that it is sudden and dramatic and perhaps important. All right, let's continue. Only the sound of the sea chewing away at the edge of the rocky beach where the bits and pieces of the Iron Man lay scattered far and wide, silent and unmoving. Only one of the iron hands, lying beside an old sand-logged, washed-up seaman's boot, waved its fingers like a crab on its back. Then it lay still. While the stars went on wheeling through the sky, and the wind went on tugging at the grass on the top of the cliff, and the sea went on boiling and booming, nobody knew the Iron Man had fallen. Night passed. Just before dawn, as the darkness grew blue and the shapes of the rocks separated from each other, 2 seagulls flew crying over the rocks. They landed on a patch of sand. They had 2 chicks in a nest on the cliff. Now they were searching for food. One of the seagulls flew up. Ark! That's onomatopoeia again, word for a noise. He had seen something. He glided over the sharp rocks. He landed and picked something up. Something shiny, round, and hard. It was one of the Iron Man's eyes. He brought it back to his mate. They both looked at this strange thing, and the eye looked at them. It rolled from side to side, looking first at one gull, then at the other. The gulls, peering at it, thought it was a strange kind of clam peeping at them from its shell. Then the other gull flew up, wheeled around and landed and picked something up. Some awkward heavy thing. The gull flew low and slowly, dragging the heavy thing, finally dropped it beside the eye. This new thing had 5 legs. It moved. The gulls thought it was a strange kind of crab. They thought they had found a strange crab and a strange clam. They did not know that they had found the Iron Man's eye and the Iron Man's right hand. But as soon as the eye and the hand got together, the eye looked at the hand. Its lights glowed blue. The hand stood up on 3 fingers and its thumb, and craned its forefinger like a long nose. It felt around. It touched the eye. Gleefully, it picked up the eye and tucked it under its middle finger. The eye peered out between the forefinger and thumb. Now the hand could see. Right, so we've gone through quite a lot there. The story began with a very ominous picture of the Iron Man standing dramatically and mysteriously on the cliff edge. We can see his silhouette towering above us. We then saw the Iron Man looking out, and he could see different things like this lighthouse and this ship out on the ocean. He then dramatically fell down the cliff edge. We had lots of onomatopoeia as that happened, crashing down the cliff face. And then we saw that his body, his hands, like crabs almost, explored the beach, trying to find each other. So, Tim Hughes, the author, has raised lots of questions. As readers, I don't know about you, but I definitely want to keep reading. I want to find out who the Iron Man is, where has he come from, what kind of person is he? Is he a man? Is he a robot? What does he look like? And perhaps most importantly for the rest of the story, what's he going to do and where's he going? I hope you've enjoyed that. I think what we're going to do next is we're going to do a piece of writing about this text that we've read.